Hey everyone, this is Daniel, and in today's video, we're going to talk about how to use the Power Platform Teams for environment level permissions. And don't confuse this with the Teams communication and collaboration service. This is the Teams permissions feature available in the Power Platform Admin Center. So we're going to first start by talking about how Azure Active Directory security groups are there and available, and then how you can use those security groups in the Power Platform's Teams feature available in the Power Platform Admin Center. So stick around, this is very important, especially if you want to create granular level permissions for all of those Power apps like Canvas apps and model-driven apps. But first, here's my intro video. Now, each of our Microsoft Cloud is called as a tenant. And in your tenant, you have the Azure Active Directory, which goes ahead and takes care of the authentication and the authorization. And this is where you can go and create all your security groups. Security groups can be of different kinds. And in this scenario, we will use them to control the access in our Power Platform. Now, in addition to Power Platform, you can use this Azure Active Directory authentication and authorization for also the Microsoft 365 apps. Now, I want to focus our attention in the Power Platform because it gives you this beautiful functionality to create containers. The containers basically are the environments where you can go ahead and keep environment level restrictions for all the apps and the flows that you're going to use over there. And in the Power Platform environment, you have multiple level of security roles where you can go and be an environment system admin, you can go and be an environment maker, or just a user. And for each of these roles, you can assign a security group to make the overall utilization a lot more easier. And to do that, that is where you go ahead and use this Teams permission service, which is available out of the box. And that is what I'm going to show you right now. So here I am in my tenants Azure, and I go to my Azure Active Directory and I go and click on groups. If I just go and do a search for PP, which stands for Power Platform, these are all my security groups over here. And this is just something that I do. I go ahead and give my security groups a naming convention. That way I can immediately identify which other service this falls under. So as an example, right over here, you can see that I've got a PP, which means it's for Power Platform. It is for an app, and then it also is for a security group. It just helps me understand that. So as you can see, the other ones, this is for a Power Platform, but it's tied to an environments admin. The on the top is just for an environment. The one on top is just for a maker, and over here is just for the user. Does it make sense? It really helps me to understand how to use this so I don't make any mistakes. All right, so let's now go over to our Power Platform Admin Center. This is where I am, and in my Power Platform Admin Center, I have a very dedicated environment that I've created. It's called as the Health and Wellness Department. And in the Health and Wellness Department, I've already gone ahead and secured that environment specifically with a security group. And so when I go and create that environment, I specifically say, hey, people in this security group need access or will be allowed the access to this environment. So that's the first thing I do. I went and take care of that. All right, so we are now at the environment level. Now I want to make it further granular. I want to first of all give admin level access to this environment to do administration stuff. That's one. Second, I want to give maker level access so that people can actually come and build apps and flows over here. That's two. And then finally, only user level access so people can actually use those apps over there. And that's three. So how do I handle this and how do I leverage those security groups that I bought over here? Because if you come over here and actually take a look at all these roles, we'll actually click on the see all. So the first one is the system admin. So on the top right, if I just do a search for sys, you see that there is something called a system admin. This is like the Uber level access at the environment level. And when I click on the system admin over here, all I can do is add people. So I'm clicking on it, and on the right side, I see you can either put in the name, email address, or it says team name. Keep that in mind. We're going to actually solve that problem, right? Team name. Same thing happens for all these other roles as well. Because if I now go and do a search for environment, there is the environment maker. Click on the environment maker. All I see on the top is add people. But when I see this thing, it slides up. It says search for name, email address, or team name. So you kind of see this repetition that there is a feature called team name. So now let's go ahead and tackle that. Is how do I use this team name? So I'm going to go back now all the way to the settings, and I'm going to click on users and permissions. In the users and permissions, second from the bottom is called as teams. So when I click on teams, now it says created team. And again, reminder, this is not the Microsoft Teams which we use for collaboration and communication. This is a team specifically to handle permissions inside the environment level inside the Power Platform Admin Center. So now I'm going to click on team, and over here you see all of these features and functionalities available. First of all, create a team name. Now remember, I need three. One is for the system admin level, one is for the environment maker level, and the other one is just the basic user. So I'm going to first start with my system admin one. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on paste. Now I can change this one because this is actually the security group name that I have. I'm kind of keep it almost similar. So I'm going to remove the PP at the initial. I'm going to remove the SG, and I'm going to keep it at this level. So that's a good name, team name, which works for me. Description, I can leave it blank. Business unit, I only have one, so I'll leave that. Now the administrator is the one person who's got control to go ahead and change this teams. Over here, it is down to a user. So make sure you put that. It could be a service account or it could be a user. Just to make sure I don't have any issues right now, I'm just going to go and put in my name. And then the team type. The team type, well, that is going to be of a type as owner, access, Azure Active Directory. But hey, this also has got Azure Active Directory office groups. So if you've got an office group, which is the same thing as an M365 group, and you want to leverage here, you can do that. You've got a full option for that. And I'm just going to leave it as is for now. All right. So I'm going to select with the Azure Security Group. And now I get the option for the group name. Well, remember the one for the admin level, we went ahead and gave it this name. And if everything is correct, you can see that it even goes and presents it. So I'll select that and I'll click on next. Now it is going and making sure that all the permissions are correct, especially if your environment admin has the access level that it needs, then everything will go well. Otherwise, it might give an error over here. All right, so we went and created the team, but we still have to say what security role should be assigned to this. And remember, for this one, we need it because this is the one that we're creating for the admin level. So I'm going to give this one as the security admin. So I'm going to scroll down until I actually see the sysadmin level. See, right over here is the sys administrator. I'm going to select that and I'm going to click on save. It is going and doing all the loading, taking care of all the connections. And there we go, right over here. Now, if I go and pull this all the way out, this is the one. Now we've created the team using the Azure Active Directory security group. And this is the one that we will assign now for the Uber level access for the environment, which is the system administrator, right? It's already taken care of. So now that you've seen this one, let's go ahead and create the one for the environment maker and the user. So I click on the plus create team. I'll give it a name. I'm going to actually remove the PP one. I'm going to remove the SG one. I basically pasted the name that I used in the security group. So I'm going to actually just remove those PP and the SG. Small business, the business unit, keep it there as is. Administrator, for now, I'll just put in my name. You can go and do whatever you think is right for your scenario. And then the team type, this team type again is the Azure Active Directory Security Group. Moment I do that now, it's asking me for what that group name is. Here, I can actually go and do the pasting. So I'll do a paste, picked it up, perfect. And then I got to say, what is this membership type? This is also going to be of a type owners because I'll leave it there. Click on next, making sure everything is good. And then here, I got to go and now search for the environment level. All right, so I'm going to go scroll down and look for environment maker. Perfect, done it. Click on save. And now it'll go and create a next one as well. The environment app maker over here, it's also a team type of Azure Active Directory Security Group. And now we're down to the last one. So click on the plus team create. I'll go and paste this in. I'll remove that PP of the initial, remove the SG. Business unit, there's only one. Administrator name, for now, I'll just go and give my name. And then the select team type, this is going to be again a security group. Group name it is asking. I'll paste this in, selected that. And then over here, this can be of a just type members. I can go and leave that as is. Members selected. Click on next. And then here, this is going to be the basic user. Now, in the plus create teams, when we were going through this process, it only allowed us the team's role that were there out of the box. You could also create a customized role. Now, be careful when you do that because you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot over there. The more customized you make it, the more potential troubleshooting you will have to do. And I'll give you an example. If you really want to make your security permissions tight, then you could create a security role only for certain databases for your environment, certain Dataverse databases and tables. But remember, anytime you have to make a change, you'll have to make sure that you got to go and update that security role. So for example, you've gone and built apps and flows, specifically the apps. It initially was built for a certain tables. Now the app organically grew, you added more tables, you've got to go ahead and now make sure that those other tables are factored in for a security role. So it is doable, but it does get a little bit complicated. So be careful when you do that. I'm going to leave mine over here as is, all right? So now I'm going to just cancel this out because we are done with setting up granular level permissions using security groups at this environment level. So the only other thing that is left is that now when I go into my Power Apps, I just make sure I've got into this environment. If I now go ahead and have an app, I click on share, and over here, I go ahead and put in that security group, which was for the basic user. This is also used for the app level. Just to be careful, go ahead and uncheck this box, because if you go and send out emails for the people, it can cause a little bit of confusion, too many email notifications. I just go ahead and unselect that. But hey, if your company is used to this and you want to use that as their primary means to announce to the users that, hey, this new app is available and here is the link to it, sure, go ahead and keep that box checked. But I basically go and uncheck that because I might have to send out a formal email through a formal process, and I like to go that way, unlike going and using this over here. And I'm actually done going and setting up these permissions. So did you realize that in your tenant, you've actually added multiple levels of permissions? First was the Azure level, the overall Azure Active Directory. Then we went and did at the Power Platform level. In the Power Platform, we did it at the environment level. And we took it a step further by even putting it at the app level. In fact, you could go one more level if you had another data source, such as, say, SharePoint. So hopefully this video has been helpful to you. Now you know how to go ahead and use this Teams permissions feature that is available. And as always, keep using Power Platform. Hello, hello, hello. So if you like this video, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and smash that like button. Also, if you have a few extra seconds, can you go ahead and put in a comment? Either say something nice or give me ideas for my next video. And until then, see ya.